Is this
You guys gonna hear music though.
is this the overall, like, I don't know.
So, for her to talk back to me. Talk back. Yes, that one.
And is this overall volume?
I think that's overall volume. Damn it, this isn't. I think this is overall volume. This one. Oh, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is to talk to Eric.
Okay.
And then
This is just cough.
yeah. think
Can
this
I
is
hear you in my ear?
Oh,
Can
go
you go?
test.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't hear Maria if she's talking.
Like, is that a done deal?
We literally have 2 minutes and I can't hear her. Welcome to downtown Charlotte, North Carolina on a gorgeous Saturday evening for some USL Super League. Tonight's match is presented by Nucor. It's the match we've been waiting for all week long as two of the hottest teams in the league get set to battle it out on the pitch here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Joined by longtime college coach Eric Dobransky, I'm Bridget Howard with you on the call. We'll hear from our sideline reporter Anna Whitty in just a bit. While we talk about a tight race for the playoffs, Eric, it doesn't get much closer than this. Here are the current standings presented by A&J Winery.
Bridget, it just feels like we've hit a pivotal week. A lot of games going on and a lot of points and a lot of valuable points out there for each of these squads, especially with the ambition that you continue to see. And it's time for teams to make plays when they're out there to make and players to step up into those individual roles.
Well, Carolina is coming off the second largest win in league history against Brooklyn last weekend. 5-0 the final score. They set the club record for most goals scored and most unique goal scorers in a match with 5.
Explosive second half. 4 of those goals coming after holding a narrow margin going into the halftime break. And to your point, 5 different goal scorers, which only enhances their storyline of 15 unique goal scorers on the season.
Well, let's look at tonight's player to watch, presented by Gatorade. No surprise here for the Ascent, it's Mia Corbin.
Her off-the-ball movement is high quality. As an attacking player, that purpose and intent in moving defenders is so influential in collective sustainability in advanced areas. Then in those tight spaces, she possesses the blend of variety and resourcefulness that make her one of the top scorers in the league.
Well, Spokane Zephyr has come out of the break looking re-energized, refocused, and all on the same page. Eric, they're on a 6-match unbeaten streak.
And 6 goals in their last 2 matches and 2 clean sheets. I mean, so doing it in both boxes. And in this game against Lexington, it was a loaded and early involvement from Amina Ekic, had a goal and an assist, scoring at crucial points of the match early on to start that game and then early in the second half.
We've talked about her all season long, but Amina Ekic has looked stellar and truly in form in the last few matches for Zephyr.
A player who sees the picture 2 frames ahead. Her decision-making, the tactical awareness make her an elite presence and someone who adapts to what the game is presenting. You see her influence not only in her numbers, but her actions.
The Super League Game of the Week is just around the corner. We're moments away from first kick between Carolina Ascent and Spokane Zephyr. It's a beautiful evening for soccer. The fans are enjoying themselves, and so are we. We'll be back right after this. This is the USL Super League on Peacock.
When it comes to delivering high-quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Going through an injury like that gives you a different outlook on life.
Kennedy sustained a complete rupture of his Achilles tendon playing basketball, and the way we decided mutually to approach it was surgically.
The team at Novant did a great job with keeping my spirits high throughout my process. They got me back to where I am today. What I look forward to in the future is getting back on the court, playing in front of fans that love the game as much as I do, giving them experience that they never had before.
I said I'd rather be famous instead. You're more than a superstar.
City. Clouds to start us off out there. Temperatures staying in the high 40s. Tomorrow's forecast will be in the 60s. The beaches staying around 62.
Tonight's match is presented by Nucor. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent FC. All right, well, let's take a look at Carolina Ascent's lineup for tonight. Here's what they're putting out against Spokane.
And Philip Poole is going to want his side to have a blend of composure but urgency playing through the thirds, the ability to break lines and create some of those overloads. Expect heavy involvement from this midfield led by Taylor Porter as they look to dictate tempo, and this back line controlled through communication and the command of the box from Samantha Murphy.
When we turn and look at the opposite side for Spokane, not too many changes, but a big one in the midfield. Sophie Braun getting the nod here this evening.
It's going to be an important factor in the ability to screen entry passes to really up the tempo for Spokane Zephyr, who have 6 goals in 2 matches. Watch out for Allie Cook. She has come into form. She is working really well with Amina Ekic, and this back line of Cummings and Clark, the way that they're able to communicate and structure this team defensively, you could see it in their previous 2 matches.
Well, these are 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now. There's a look at Spokane's head coach, Joe Johnson, our head official, getting set for first kick here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Carolina Ascent, they've scored 13 goals in their last 4 matches. Spokane, 7 in their last 4. Hope Heisey has shutouts in all 4 games. And when you look at Carolina goalkeeper Samantha Leshneck-Murphy, she also has 4 clean sheets to match. And here we go in Carolina, the game of the week. We've been waiting for it. It's finally here, Carolina Ascent and Spokane Zephyr. Spokane getting off to a quick start. No surprise, hoping to target Amina Ekic on that far sideline early. Throw in from Haley Thomas. Eric Dobransky, Bridget Howard, our sideline reporter Anna Whitty joining us shortly.
And Bridget, this game, this match has just had such a playoff feel in the buildup, in where both these teams are trending. I mean, Carolina had a terrific fall, but only expanded on that. Come here the spring, the results that they've strung together, the ability to be diverse and explosive in both boxes has been tremendous. And Spokane, Joe Johnson's group has just been on an absolute tear. I mean, they have launched themselves into not only playoff contention, but you talk about a few more weeks later down the line, I mean, they could be playing for playoff positioning in terms of where they started the spring at, and 3 points would be massive tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see some of these opening exchanges, the individual duels, the collective efforts.
Weiner plays it across the box. Allie Cook on the end of it, and from the outside looking in, everyone's thinking, what changed with this Spokane team? And while the addition of Allie Cook has been massive, other than that, there haven't been many changes for this Spokane team. But now that they are finally all on the same page, you've got a player like Allie Cook who can work off Amina Ekic, take the pressure off of her to score. That in and of itself has really helped this Spokane team. And now you're seeing them get an early corner kick. Ekic on the ball. Corner kick presented by Nucor. Ball in, punched out by Murphy.
Have to deal with another corner here, and I like the approach, especially here early on in the match. Put it in and around the 6-yard box. Force Murphy to punch this away. You want a bit more tighter, to create tighter traffic around Murphy, but solid delivery.
Another Carolina corner kick brought to you by Nucor. Ball in. Murray attempts at a send back towards goal. It'll be a Carolina corner kick, or excuse me, goal kick.
And there you had it again, putting that ball right on Murphy.
Spokane playing it around their back line. Sydney Cummings, not only has she been impressive on the defensive end, but scored 2 goals in the last 2 matches. Battle on this near sideline. Tonight's injury report is presented by Novant Health. A couple of players for both sides out. Big one for Carolina is Vicky Bruce. She's been out for a handful of games now. Leader of this back line.
Both these teams, looks like many of the teams in the Super League have had to navigate the ability and availability of their players. As you see this ball almost picked off from Carolina. It just has a high stakes feel to it. You have to feel that both these teams are going to bring the best out of each other because they're going to ask so many different questions of each other, their style of play, their identity. They're going to absorb some of each other's threats, but they're also going to try to exploit some of those areas that they feel like they're going to have access to. So who can make the plays when they're there to be made, and who can win some of those individual duels higher up the field in those advanced areas. Both these teams showcase a collective offensive prowess where you have a lot of the attacking players. I mean, you just mentioned Sydney Cummings, the ability to get on some of the end of set pieces, the ability to create. I mean, these two teams have playmakers from front to back.
And here's where Spokane can hurt themselves. They have to be clean in the build-up. Carolina is so good at pressing and picking off passes deep in the opponent's thirds of the field. Riley Parker plays it back to Corbin. Corbin cleared out by Spokane, and nicely done by Allie Cook to hold it up. Jill Aguilera, no one's ever concerned when she has the ball or if maybe she's in a dicey part of the field and they need to rely on her.
So secure and composed. What both these teams have done such a terrific job of is letting their defensive performance speak volumes, but create offensive performances as well. Great ball in.
How about that header from Mia Corbin? Audrey Harding looking to give it back to Corbin. Jaskinek has to get rid of it early. Weinert now. Harding gonna take on Bourgeois, but she says, no thank you. I'll take that right back.
Good defensive responsibility by Bourgeois there. Have the attacking presence of Harding, the confidence in those 1v1s. These are two teams that have let their defensive identities build into that attacking structure. You see it so much that some of the best attacking shape, it starts from defensive shape, and that ability to not only pressure collectively, but win the ball with good numbers in and around the ball that provide those options. And you see that variety in the scoring from both these teams.
Jaskinek was looking for a slight through ball to Mackenzie Weinert, but Weinert holding herself off from being waved offside. I think the difference you see from the Spokane side from even the fall slate to now is obviously Carolina, they're pressing them, but Spokane doesn't look rattled. And I think it comes with the comfortability. We've talked about it with all these teams. Here's a shot on goal, just trickles wide from Braun. But as teams are starting to get more comfortable, as we're now halfway through this spring slate, there's no more panic necessarily in some moments where maybe you saw it in the fall, where teams were still getting to know one another and where Carolina's press rattled some teams, and it still does rattle some teams. Here in the early moments, Spokane looks composed and settled.
And I think some of the challenges that Spokane had to navigate early in the spring and even throughout the fall has galvanized this group and made it collective in terms of knowing that the support and the togetherness they have going into matchups, the ability to problem solve and be collective with that problem solving is so important for a group, and you can see it in the run that they're on right now. And I know I said in the open, the last two games had clean sheets, and that is true that's with the 6 goals with the 3 in each game. But both these teams showcasing terrific defensive responsibility with carrying 4 clean sheets. It almost feels like a shock to the system if one of these teams concede.
Parker to Tricoli. Hutchinson. Back out to Parker. On the ground. Corbin tests Hope Heisey.
This is a crafty, tight turn inside the box. Mia Corbin, and just met by a massive save by Hope Heisey.
Ball towards goal. Jaskinek clears it.
Get an early glimpse there of current Golden Glove front runner.
Harding with the moves. Sends it towards goal. Corbin is there. Cummings picks it up. Just a battle there in the box between Mia Corbin and Hope Heisey, but it all starts with Harding.
And that matchup out on this left side is gonna have a lot of influence on where we see the momentum shift in this match. So we saw the slightest of spills from Hope Heisey on that ball. And always opportunistic. Mia Corbin lurking in that space. Have to be careful.
Food Lion is the official grocer partner of the Carolina Ascent FC. Through Food Lion Score to Give Me More initiative, every goal scored is 1,000 meals donated to Second Harvest Food Bank of Metrolina. In the first half of this season, Food Lion and the Carolina Ascent have already donated 26,000 meals. Food Lion, easy, fresh, affordable. The Carolina Ascent online merch store is live. Stock up for our next match on scarves, t-shirts, hats, personalized jerseys, and more. To shop, visit carolinaascent.myshopify.com. Audrey Harding having a go at it tonight on this near sideline against Alyssa Bourgeois. Cook working back defensively, gets Wade for the foul. Jill Aguilera will take this free kick. She'll play it down the line to Harding. Spokane resets, plays it to the far side. Carolina and Spokane, both two teams that are really solid at building out of the back. As I say that, Alyssa Bourgeois picks that ball off, hoping to find Allie Cook.
This game's starting to open up quite a bit. Ability to break lines at a rapid rate. And two teams that are extremely familiar with each other, and you're going to see that, especially here in the final weeks. Everybody's starting to match up with each other for the 4th time. Those clear identities, those clear principles continue to shine, but it also gives each opponent the ability to see exactly where those previous matchups led and how they played out. When you know an opponent that well, there's 2 ways of looking at it. You could either play very tense and not have that fluidity and that freedom in your game, or that knowledge, that base, that foundation allows you to open the game up and allows you to play free.
Aguilera hits the ground. Restart for Carolina. The last couple of times these 2 teams have met, this is now the 4th time that they're meeting this season, but the last time was on March 8th in Spokane. Carolina handed them a loss. Back on November 9th, it was here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Drew 0-0, and then back on September 15th in Spokane, very beginning of the USL Super League season. Spokane lost 2-0.
And going back to that recent result that sparked their 6-game unbeaten run right now, 5 wins, 1 draw.
Hutchinson looks towards goal! Carolina Ascent continues their scoring ways. Ellie Hutchinson with her 3rd goal of the season.
And this is translating pressure into output. The pressure they put on opponents, but you have to have teammates in and around the ball in positions to capitalize and punish teams in those moments. And that is where Carolina has and continues to excel. And that's where you see the diversity in their scoring output. The ability to get so many different players involved.
That Carolina Ascent goal is presented by Food Lion. Score to give me more.
All right, fans, take a look at the scoreboard for a fresh replay of that amazing play. All brought to you by Green Brothers Juice and
Carolina Ascent just continues to find success in the final third. Ellie Hutchinson, what a brilliant goal.
Just decisive with that finish. Not much Hope Heisey could do. You see the numbers in the final third, 16 final third entries.
Let's send it down to our sideline reporter for the first time tonight. Let's hear from her. Anna Whitty is standing by with Carolina Ascent defender Vicky Bruce.
Standing next to Carolina Ascent defender and captain Vicky Bruce. Vicky, your team has had now 14 goals in 5 matches and continues to create opportunities. When did you see the shift for your team to start turning chances into goals?
I think we started changing things up a little bit after the first part of the season. Like, I think we just always were capable of everything we're doing now. We just might not have been gluing or meshing or kind of on the same page. And now that we've started to do it, we kind of like cracked open this box, and now we're just keep going. And I don't think that there's a team that can beat us when we're on our game. And, you know, we get 1, we get 2, we get 3, and then we really make it so the teams can't come back into the game. And it's brilliant to watch. I mean, I hate being, you know, on the sides, but I'm so proud of my team. They're doing an amazing job.
Well, right now, Carolina Ascent are at the top of the table. Thank you so much, Vicky. Bridget, back to you.
Thanks, Anna. Such great insight from Vicky Bruce. And I loved when she said, you know, it feels like we've cracked it open, right? And I mean, that's a perfect way of putting it when it comes to this Spokane team. And especially with their wins this spring, it hasn't just been by 1 goal. Like, they've been blowing it out of the water, not allowing teams to come back in, just like Vicky spoke on.
It's a nightmare to hear if your opponents.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to feel like they are just beginning to scratch the surface and continue to stack performances like they are. But I'll go back to the opening goal. It's just indicative of the way that Carolina is playing right now. They are flowing and they're collective with what they are doing on both sides of the ball. And then when they do regain possession in those advantageous areas, they are decisive and ruthless. I mean, they are not letting teams off the hook. And that's what you want to do when you're a pressing team like this. You want to make sure that you're punishing and you're rewarding your collective efforts.
This ball sent forward to Addison Merrick. Looking for Riley Parker, but just a poor pass there at the top of the box. Carolina Ascent FC is a club built by the Carolinas for the Carolinas, with a vision to climb and reach new heights. From corporate partnerships to single game tickets and group outings, we've got a place for you to empower women's sports across the Carolinas. Join the climb and contact one of our representatives today at carolinaascent.com. When you look at Carolina, you can just see there on the restart numbers around the ball like no other.
Yeah, the way they anticipate and get into position at such a proactive rate, I mean, it's just so tough to break down. You think that you can play quick. Another turnover in the build.
Jill Aguilera, player coach Poole loves to talk about finding more and more comfort as this season goes on with this team. She leads the team in assists with 5 on the year and chances created with 38. Taylor Porter finds Merrick. Another Carolina corner kick brought to you by Nucor.
Bending it like steel, this Carolina Ascent corner kick is brought to you by Nucor, where strength and precision come together. Taking this corner kick, number 7.
It'll be number 7, Jill Aguilera, who we were just speaking about, called upon to take this corner kick. She has 2 goals and 5 assists on the year. And Carolina add to their lead here. Aguilera into the box. Bouncing, Parker. Studer. Nina Ekic. Such a weapon offensively, but she does just as much work on the defensive side. Another corner kick brought to you by Nucor for Carolina Ascent.
Taking the corner kick for Carolina Ascent, number 14.
This time it's Taylor Porter, captain. One of the captains for this Carolina Ascent team. Ball towards goal. Studer on the end of it, but sends it high and over the goal.
Spokane having to weather and navigate this barrage and try to kind of look to gain momentum in this next 5 to 10 minutes. You're dealing with different chances from different angles, from different areas. I mean, going back to your point from Jill Aguilera, in this system, those wide players are on the ball so much. They're dictating tempo. You hear a lot of talk around central midfielders dictating that tempo and setting the pace. when you have outside players that are on the ball as much as Carolina Ascent players are, you have to have quality decision makers. You have to have that ability to have that mix of bravery on the ball, but quality when it comes to breaking lines and choosing when to break lines.
Katie Murray fouled in the midfield. Katie Murray, just an absolutely electric player. That's the one word I would use to describe her. Whether she's starting or coming off the bench, she adds to this offense, she adds to the defense. She's just a versatile player for this Spokane side.
Just buzzes around. I mean, absolutely top-end energy and the involvement, the ability, and that versatility is something that allows her to impact and influence matches. It's so important for players to be able to adjust and adapt to what the game is giving them, not what they want to take. And Murray is one of those that has that ability to settle in, make sure that they begin to exploit some of those opportunities that are available as the game starts to unfold. So expect her involvement and her influence to only increase as this game wears on.
Well, head coach Joe Johnson told us, she's just been great on both sides of the ball, the box-to-box midfielder. She actually played a little bit of left back at the beginning of the year, but said she's deceptively strong, wins those second balls in the midfield for them. And, she had that just impeccable header goal last weekend against Dallas Trinity, but ultimately said she calms them down. She not only calms them down, but brings them energy as well in that midfield. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance provider of the Carolina Ascent FC. Blue Cross North Carolina makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross North Carolina. Better care starts here. Sarah Clark sends it back to Hope Heisey. Hope Heisey, as you spoke on earlier, the Golden Glove leader at the moment.
Somebody that assistant coach Brian Pearman is very familiar with, had her at the University of Arizona. Fully aware of her qualities and characteristics as a goalkeeper, and has come in and just been outstanding for Joe Johnson's group.
Katie Murray puts it towards the face of goal. Allie Cook on the end of it. Let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Anna Whitty.
Carolina's Jill Aguilera is some player who you guys have talked a lot about, and ironically, she finished her college career at Arizona with the program leading 32 goals as Merrick streaks down the right-hand side for Carolina.
Merrick looking for Hutchinson. Dangerous ball. On that clearance, I think Alyssa Bourgeois took the brunt of it.
And somebody that has seen a lot of play come through that left side with Audrey Harding, and takes the wrong end of this clearance.
To the Gatorade Tower. All halftime participants, please make your way.
Let's send it back down to Anna.
Located to the left of the scoreboard.
Aguilera, who's now, ironically, on the back line for Carolina. She's thriving as a fullback. The Puerto Rican international brings experience, but also sets the standards really high for Carolina. Poole said Aguilera can be the driving force in the locker room because she's always setting the standard for herself first. And right now, Aguilera is a player who's in combination with Harding down this left-hand side, is looking to take on Bourgeois in different overloads throughout this match.
So much, Anna. Yeah, that was one of our favorite parts of the conversation we had this week with Carolina head coach Philip Poole. He had such great things to say about Jill Aguilera, and just, I think it raises, you know, the standard for a locker room when you have players that expect that much out of themselves. Because when you expect more out of your fellow teammates than you do yourself, that's when you kind of start to have some problems. But Jill Aguilera, she sets the standard for herself and wants her teammates to meet her there.
And it's that accountability.
Exactly.
Not only for yourself, but to your point, for others. And you have to live those standards. You can't just talk about them. You can't just ask others to be about them. You have to live them out, and you have to bring them to fruition. And clearly something special from the standpoint what Jill Aguilera brings to this group, and the collective nature of this Carolina side is something that we continue to see here in not only the fall, but an extension here into the spring season. They have been really that standard in the USL Super League.
Free kick coming outside of the box for Carolina Ascent. Ellie Hutchinson. Here it comes. Back post. Headed up by Cummings. Murray. Aguilera plays it back in. Taylor Porter down now for Carolina Ascent.
Fans, your Carolina Ascent season tickets for our second.
Join the Carolina Ascent for their last home game of the season and for our Base Camp Bash tailgate and Taylor Swift cover band on Saturday, May 17th. Your Trailblazers play the Tampa Bay Sun FC. Lock in your seats and get your own free Carolina Ascent beach towel. You do not want to miss the end of the season beach party. Visit carolinaascent.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Taylor Swift cover band, free beach towel. Sign me up.
Visit the ticket tent near Gate 3 to learn more and reserve your favorite seats today.
I can't tell what they're eating there.
Yeah, I was trying to take a good. Yeah, I was trying to take a good look at it.
Good to see Taylor Porter up and walking off on her own. Okay, well, that's cotton candy. I know that.
You can spot that from a mile
I
away.
can spot that from a mile away.
And of course,
Taylor Porter has had such an impact here. 33 minutes in.
Come see for yourself.
Ability to screen some of these entry passes, deny those entries to Allie Cook, who kind of spearheads this attack. We haven't seen that combination of Amina Ekic and Allie Cook thus far.
That ball mishandled. Carolina Ascent throw in on the far side of the pitch. Well, if you're just joining us, this is the matchup we've been waiting for all week long. Carolina Ascent and Spokane Zephyr here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Allie Cook was hoping to get a look on goal.
And the reason this game became the hype that it was, and it is because of the form that both these teams are on. And for Spokane, their last loss coming to Carolina in that 2-1 defeat. And this recent form, the 5 wins, the 1 draw. I mean, you wanted to see what this Spokane team could do at Carolina, and especially with the playoff push that this last 6 games have provided Spokane. It put them right in the thick of things.
Something to note with this Spokane side. Initially, this match started off with Amina Ekic on the far sideline. Then we've got Mackenzie Weiner on the near sideline. Joe Johnson has really given this team the freedom to, if you get on one side of the pitch and you think you're more effective on that side, or you know, you're seeing something that we're not seeing on the sideline, she gives them that freedom to move around the pitch, do what was working best, and you're seeing that right now. Ekic now on this near sideline, Mackenzie Weinert on the far side.
And that's what we've seen from teams that are beginning to build into form and trending in that upward trajectory, is that trust and that ability to collaborate from both sides, the coaching staff and the players.
Anna, you've got more for us.
Between international call-ups and trying to find consistency, it took a bit longer for Spokane to find the correct footing here in the spring. In the fall, Spokane went 2-6-6, and right now in the spring, Spokane is 6-1-1. One change in particular for Spokane is just that freedom. Coach Johnson said this freedom has come with not just trusting the coaching staff, but also trusting the team chemistry and the expectations that players have for one another on the field.
So much, Anna. It's a great point. And, you know, all of these teams that you're starting to see come to form, it's because of that comfort level that they're finding with one another as this season has gone on. But Mia Corbin finds it at the top of the box. Test Hope Heisey, Bourgeois just narrowly clears it.
What you continue to see from Carolina is when they do break into the 8-yard box of Spokane, they have had some loud opportunities. I mean, Mia Corbin has had some smashing opportunities and strikes from that angle. She had one earlier at an even closer proximity that Hope Heisey to make that big save to keep it 0-0 early, but they are creative, they are fluid, they are dynamic.
Talk about that fluidity. They have a league high 15 unique goal scorers, and we can't talk about that enough. But more so on that last opportunity, Mia Corbin, she is also searching for her 10th goal this season. We saw Allie Thornton be the first USL Super League player to get to double digits. Mia Corbin is right there in that race for the Golden Boot.
And that's what Phil Poole was so impressed by with his group, was not only were they scoring goals at a high clip, but the amount of unique goal scorers, and then still on top of that, having a player like Mia Corbin in the race for the Golden Boot. I mean, it just speaks volumes to where this team is in their ability to be clinical in the final third and to be composed in those moments that it really matters.
35 goals scored on the season for this Carolina Ascent team, just 19 against. Parker settles down this Carolina team, sends it backwards. Aguilera, Anna mentioned she played at the University of Arizona. She was actually teammates with Hope Heisey. Hutchinson, just couldn't get her body around it, but another great opportunity. Carolina continues to knock on the door.
Oh, what a superb ball played in from Mia Corbin, and it all starts from the entry pass from Jill Aguilera. Threads it in, and that run, the timing and the pace of that ball were spot on, just unable to wrap this ball around and find that far post or tuck it away. Goes back to what I was saying earlier, is when they do break through into the final third, into the 18-yard box, they have created some exciting moments.
Katie Murray pushing it forward for Spokane. Ekic. Allie Cook using her body to see that ball out of bounds for a corner kick, but a couple of players, I think, took some deflections for Carolina. Needing just a moment.
We've seen high quality delivery from Amina Ekic with the flow of play and the momentum trending in the direction of Carolina, can you use these set pieces to start stacking moments, start stacking opportunities for yourself?
Ekic with another corner kick. Spokane, can they even this match up with a goal for themselves? Ekic will get another crack at it.
And that'll be another corner kick. Spokane Zephyr FC. All corner kicks brought to you by Newport.
Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Ekic looping in, just misses on the backside.
And you look at the numbers here in the first half. The final third entries are about level with each other. No real loud discrepancy, but the touches in the opposition box, 11 for Carolina, 2, which would now be 3 for Spokane. That's the discrepancy for when they do hit the final third. They are decisive, and they are making those plays, those final actions to put themselves in scoring position.
Jill Aguilera. And battling it out with Amina Ekic in these last couple of moments. She's simply the ultimate playmaker. Aguilera, we talked about earlier, leads the league with 5 assists. Scored an incredible goal off a free kick in the last game. Corbin. Looking for Hutchinson. Hutchinson! Picked up by Sarah Clark.
And if Spokane push and find the equalizer, they're going to look back at some of these last-ditch and emergency defensive situations. The bad turnover.
Hutchinson. Too many touches.
Now, I know that was a forced intervention and a forced emergency defensive situation, but they're going to look at some of these bend but don't break moments as possible match-defining, because you're giving up some bigger and bigger chances as this half is worn on. But this game still sits at 1-0, and you continue to see it in games all over the world. The game of football can be cruel. You can create moments. You could be owning the possession battle. You could be owning the final third entries, touches in the opposition box. All those numbers could be in your favor. But if you don't tuck away opportunities, you leave the opponent in the game. It just takes one chance to flip the narrative.
This first half continues on just in the final couple of minutes. I think Carolina gets on the board early thanks to Ellie Hutchinson, but Spokane, I have to imagine it's continuing to give them confidence the longer they keep Carolina at 1 goal. They've had a number of opportunities. Some great balls slipped through their back line by Mia Corbin, but they continue to hang on. And this is a Spokane team that knows how to fight back. They've scored a number of goals in their last couple of outings.
Looked like Murray had just gotten that ball stuck underneath her foot for just a split second too long. Looked like Weinert was ready to explode into that space.
Corbin with the pickoff. She'll wait for help. Parker. Riley Parker to Tricoli. Another slip ball through the defense to Corbin. Ball trickles wide, looking for Harding.
I mean, Mia Corbin is displaying every tool that she has in her toolbox, because the ability to press, the ability to turn opponents over, but also the technique and the craftiness on the ball. When you can manipulate spaces and thread the ball into some of these areas, I mean, she is just knocking at the door.
And the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes.
Minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time added to this first half. First half stoppage time brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina.
And going back to the point you were just making a moment ago about Spokane feeling like they've got something to build on, they also would look at their inability to get Allie Cook and Amina Ekic involved. And if you could only do that, and you know that's going to be addressed and talked about at the break, and not even just specifically to get them on the ball. Obviously, you want those two dangerous threats on the ball in the final third, but also some of the spacing that it might make available for teammates. So identifying some of those areas that maybe Carolina is taking them away from, but now it's opening up something for Sophia Braun, Katie Murray, those players for those late entries. We've seen some involvement in dangerous areas by Weiner. That's going to be something that can they exploit and execute in the second half.
Spokane, a team that does so well building out of the back, connecting with the one-touch passing. It's been a bit of a struggle in this first half because of the Carolina press. Certainly something head coach Joe Johnson, you would imagine, would have a conversation with her group about handling that pressure a little bit better. As we look to the second 45. It's been an exciting Saturday for the USL Super League. A couple of draws on the day, and we're finally here for the match of the week between Carolina Ascent and Spokane Zephyr. Ellie Hutchinson with her third goal of the season coming in the 17th minute has Carolina up 1-0 as we inch towards halftime. Two of the hottest teams in the league right now. Just goal-scoring machines. Both sides have been. Carolina now 14 goals in their last 5 matches, and Spokane scored 7 in their last 4. Just impressive numbers for both sides. Allie Cook waved for the foul. You know, she's just itching to get in the scoring column. This Spokane team, even with Carolina. In their last matchup on March 8th, Allie Cook scored her first goal of the season with Spokane Zephyr. She's since scored 2 more, added an assist. Diving save from Mackenzie Weiner to see that ball out of bounds.
Stacking important interventions, and that's something that's going to be a positive highlight for Spokane, is the ability to absorb some of those threats and minimize some of the scoring opportunities to keep themselves in this match. But again, we knew that this was going to be a tight matchup. We knew that they were going to bring the best out of each other. They were going to ask questions and really manipulate how the tempo and the pace of this game unfolded. And for Carolina, it's been predicated on a lot of success in pressing areas and guiding Spokane into some spaces that they were able to narrow and jump in front of passes and climb the field together. And for Spokane, if they can find the quality and the composure to play through those lines, I think there's going to be numbers and there's going to be some space and real estate that they can flow into.
Both coaching staffs mentioned the importance of who would score first in this match. However, I think this Spokane team, as this match continues on, they're gaining confidence by keeping the score at 1-0. All right, well, let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Anna Whitty. Anna, who you got?
Thanks, Bridget. Sid, your team has done a great job against Spokane's aggressive pressure in the midfield and not allowing Cook any shots. How have you been able to keep them off the score sheet?
Honestly, it's our press, and our forwards do a thankless job, Mia and Ellie and Audrey and Parker, and they do a thankless job running without the ball. That makes our jobs completely easier, so when the ball does come to us, it's only like one touch and they're back at it.
Thank you, Sid.
Of course, no problem.
Thanks, Anna. Great insight from Sydney Studer. An exciting first half from Carolina Ascent. Ellie Hutchinson getting her squad on the board early in the 17th minute. Great goal from her. All right, we've got more coming your way at halftime. It's 1-0, Carolina Ascent.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Forfeit defending. Ramirez is in behind the keeper and scores!
Cross, Sprinter team tapped home.
Bedoya launches and tucks it into the top right-hand corner. Whoa! Say man by Alpizzi.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Today.
I am?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
My sister loves volunteering with her coworkers.
Heads up.
I asked her why she likes it so much.
This is my little sister.
She said there's something special about helping out with Food Lion.
Yes, of course. Have a great day.
You get to make people smile.
Here to fill tables and hearts with hope. Food Lion feeds, here for every moment.
What does a better tomorrow look like? More people enjoy safer, more comfortable indoor spaces, clean water, clean air, healthy food, and a healthier planet. That's what Train Technologies believes tomorrow should look like. So we put people and the planet first. Today, we take bold action. So tomorrow, there's a better world. For everyone.
Eric Dobransky, Anna Whitty, Bridget Howard, all with you in Charlotte at American Legion Memorial Stadium at the break. Carolina Ascent up 1-0. Tonight's match is presented by Nucor. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent FC. Well, this week in the USL Super League, it's been a busy one. We've had Academy standouts make their debuts. Carolina Ascent, they continue their cruise as they're up 1-0 here at the break. And the Golden Glove leader, Hope Heisey, she's given up a goal in this one, but there wasn't much she could do.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hope Heisey is going to want more from herself on that shot, but like I said, put in a precarious situation with that turnover in the build. Carolina just continues to do what they're doing in both boxes. Obviously, now breaking through against a Spokane team that had 4 consecutive clean sheets.
The upcoming schedule brought to you by Capelli. All of these matches are available for you streaming on Peacock on April 26th. We'll get another look at Spokane Zephyr as they take on Tampa Bay Sun. April 26th again. We've got 3 games this day. Brooklyn, DC, Fort Lauderdale, Carolina. I'm circling that Fort Lauderdale, Carolina match.
That'll be a terrific matchup, and it's going to only become more and more tense as these weeks wear on. I mean, Spokane getting through, they're going to have to continue to fight through this match, but have a Tampa Bay Sun side that picked up a massive 3 points late last night
in the
at
late
DC
minutes.
Power.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the SiriusXM app.
A lot of fantastic individual play across the league, plus one team that has one last shot potentially to stay in playoff contention.
Yeah, you can also figure out why I'm wearing a shirt with my dog on it, and we talked to Spokane Zephyr's leading gal, Allie Cook, 3 goals Spokane on a 4-match unbeaten streak. Do they have what it takes to make it in the first ever USL Super League playoff?
If you haven't listened to the USL Game Week, you're missing out. Don't go anywhere. We've got more coming up for you right after this.
This is actually the team of number 22, Bay Hilton. Carolina Ascent FC would like to welcome the Charlotte Independent Soccer Club, Sustain Charlotte, Union, Preparatory Academy, Clover Recreation Center, and all other groups in attendance tonight. Thank you for choosing to spend your night right here at Base Camp. Carolina Ascent FC fans, today we are proud to go green for a cause. For this special green game, our players are wearing Nucor Green Game warm-up jerseys. They wore them during warm-up, and here's your chance to own a piece of that action. Each jersey will be autographed by the player and made available for purchase this evening. All proceeds of the Nucor Green Game Jersey Sustainability Partner Scarf and total number of clean sheet donations will go directly to the Catawba Riverkeeper Foundation, supporting efforts to protect and preserve our local waterways through our ongoing sustainability initiatives. Join us in making a difference, rep the green, and support the team, and protect our planet. And Carolina Ascent FC would like to wish a very happy birthday to Abby. Abby, thank you for spending your special day with us here at the base camp. Happy birthday from all of us at Carolina Ascent FC. And let's give another birthday shout out to Charlie. Happy 8th birthday from all of us here at Carolina Ascent FC.
Tonight's match highlights are presented by Nucor. It didn't take long for Carolina Ascent to continue their scoring ways, all thanks to the boot of Ellie Hutchinson.
And it was a front-footed start from Spokane, but Carolina doing what Carolina does best, disrupt play. The pressure gets to Spokane in the build, and Ellie Hutchinson there to bury this left-footed take, but the ability for Carolina to recognize and execute in not only turning and regaining possession from Spokane, but the ability for the outlet play, the link-up play, so decisive and so organized in those chaotic moments. And they take that 1-0 advantage, and their final third entries and their touches in the opposition box have been explosive. And Mia Corbin has been on the end of a number of those chances. Tight little turn here, and extremely decisive with that right-footed strike. The ability to just turn and force Hope Heisey into a difficult save. But we do see the possession numbers level.
Let's look at the first half stats presented by Nucor as well. What stands out to you here?
The shots and the shots on target. I mean, I think Carolina Ascent have created a number of opportunities, but I think they've got to find that second one, because the longer that this game stays at 1-0, the more confidence that Spokane is going to play with. So they have the 4 shots on target, but only have the 1 goal to show for it.
Well, and no shots on target for Spokane. However, they are generating opportunities for corner kicks of their own compared to Carolina's 2. So they just need to continue to create opportunities, but this second half is going to be an exciting one, I think. Don't go anywhere. Tonight's match is brought to you by Nucor, Capelli, Novant Health, Train Technologies, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Food Lion. Second half underway from Charlotte at American Legion Memorial Stadium. A gorgeous evening for some Super League soccer. Been waiting for this match all week long. Eric Dobransky, Anna Whitty, Bridget Howard with you this evening. Carolina Ascent up 1-0 as we enter the final 45. Carolina resets. Throw in coming for Carolina.
You can already see here early the commitment and the energy that Spokane's going to put behind their press. want to make it difficult for Carolina to play through the phases and in the build, almost give them a dose of what they had to experience in that first half, but also now replicate what they're able to do on the offensive side. Ability to dissect teams and to be multi-dimensional in the numbers that they throw at teams. And for Carolina, they've got to push for that second goal. And I know that defensively they are on such a run of form, and they have been incredibly difficult to play and in their defensive box. I mean, we talked to Philip Poole this week about not only just keeping clean sheets, but you look at some of the lowest shots on goal allowed in the league. I mean, when you're not even giving teams a sniff of your goal, I mean, that is deflating and demoralizing for teams, especially if you're a team that goes down and has to climb back in. When you're at 0-0, you feel like, okay, you're just gonna keep trying to find that moment, pick that spot. But when now you're in a position where you've got to go chase the game and you leave yourself possibly susceptible to conceding a second, but you have to, because you feel like you have to commit some special numbers or a special opportunity just to break through.
Parker on the ball for Carolina. That's what Carolina does. They don't let you have any time to make a decision. You have to be decisive early.
And relentless. You think that you have a moment where you did break a line, and this is a tremendous ball in.
Sydney Studer with the masterclass in defensive effort.
Adding to Carolina and the pressure that they apply to opponents, when you have that blend of not only the pressure, and we saw it with their goal in the first half, but that progressive attitude, that bravery going forward. They're not a team that looks to regain possession and play sideways or backwards.
Audrey Harding. Testo Pisey. Riley Parker. Plays it to Merrick. Merrick from distance. Just misses that upper 90.
And this is a prime example of their ability to put their foot on the pedal and go full speed. They find the outlet, they see where they want to go and how they want to get there, and they do it at a rapid rate that does not allow a lot of opponents back in the play. And Hope Heisey having to come up with a big save and parries that ball far enough out of danger where you don't have to kind of absorb a secondary attack there inside your 18-yard box, have to settle for an opportunity from distance.
Against an opponent like Carolina, it's inevitable that they're going to get opportunities with the number of playmakers that they have. But I do have to give credit to Spokane. I feel as though on the second opportunities, they have been positioning themselves fairly well to be able to get that clearance that they need. They haven't allowed too many second chance opportunities off initial, entries into the box or shots on goal. It's been those miscues on the pass out or, the subsequent passes. And so I think Spokane has done a nice job defensively, whereas early in the season, you may not have seen that. That ball played forward looking for Allie Cook, and you can see the frustration there. Nucor is the official steel manufacturer, provider of the Carolina Ascent FC. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent.
And going back to your point, I couldn't agree more. I think that they are committed in stifling Carolina in those second and third actions, and that's what ambitious, quality teams do, and that's why we knew that tonight was going to be a battle of the heavyweights. We knew that these were two teams, obviously Spokane on the outside looking in of that playoff picture, but my goodness, if they put themselves right in the conversation with the form that they're in and the way that they're playing, and Carolina has been trending at the top of the USL Super League throughout the season, so we knew that we were going to get a matchup of two teams that were not only clear in their identities, clear in their standards, but clear in the accountability that they held each other to. And that goes to that second and third actions, the ability to absorb that pressure moments and be willing to sacrifice yourself to protect your goal.
Just one game left to elevate your game day. Carolina Ascent FC offers a variety of pregame, halftime, and postgame experiences to take your group outing to the summit of fun. From marching onto the pitch with the pros for player intros to a postgame photo on the pitch, we can customize a chance of a lifetime experience for your group. Visit carolinaascent.com/groups to lock in an unforgettable match day experience. Come see me at Corbin in person. Ball sent to the end line. Corbin plays it across.
Now, the one area that Joe Johnson and her group are going to be disappointed in thus far, 54 minutes into the match, is kind of piggybacking on what you and I were just talking about, those second and third actions. They have not been able to regain possession from Carolina higher up the field, and in those advanced areas, they have had to work themselves from their defensive box into the attacking half. So to be able to make play predictable and to force Carolina into some of these pockets of space where they can defend collectively and put numbers around the ball where not only they regain possession, but they have that immediate outlet, is going to be something that they're going to want to execute here in the second half, because yes, they're doing a great job in second and third actions, but you want to kind of eliminate them or at least nullify some of those opportunities as this half wears on.
Carolina's back line has held strong so far in this one. Last couple of opportunities for this Spokane team, they've been waved offside. They've been stepping together, really limiting any effect that the speed the Zephyr have up top in Weinert, Cook, Ekich is really thwarted. Cummings steps in. Jaskinek lets that ball roll past her. Cook trying to make something happen. And last weekend versus Dallas, this Spokane team offensively just looked so in tune, in sync. Tonight, it's disjointed, and I think that's all the credit to this Carolina team, the amount of pressure that they put on opponents. It's stifling. Doesn't allow you time to make any decisions, and teams know that going in, but it's not until you're in the moment where you realize it and realize its effect.
Oh, you heard it from Sydney Studer at halftime. The off-the-ball running, that relentless pursuit of this front line just makes it so difficult for opponents.
Parker at the top of the box. Hutchinson. Tricoli points out Corbin. Corbin, 1v1. Corbin! Oh, that looked like a beauty going towards goal.
And this is space that Mia Corbin has been able to access throughout the match. The familiarity of that area, this time electing to take it left foot, almost curls this up into the upper corner.
Carolina recycles through their back line. This ball picked up, played up to Weinert. Weinert shoved off the ball by Aguilera, was looking for a foul, but no foul called. Well, Eric Dobransky, Bridget Howard with you. Let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Anna Whitty.
Coach Johnson addressed the interchangeability between Akage and Weinert in the wide areas as Mia Corbin gets an opportunity in around the 18.
Hutchinson. We'll get back down to Anna in just a moment. This ball threaded through. Merrick. Murray sends it forward. Let's go back down to Anna. Anna, we'll let you finish your thought.
Coach Johnson addressed at the half the interchangeability between Akage and Weinert, saying that Akage is the player who's taking the corner kick. So for recovery reasons, Akage was staying on the right-hand side. Additionally, Coach Johnson really likes that matchup between Akage and Aguilera. Aguilera is stepping high at times, so there's that space in behind for Akage to get going. Additionally, to get opportunities for Cook in and around the 18, Coach Johnson said they need to go around Carolina. Carolina has been really compact centrally in this game, so it has to be from Spokane to find the opportunities out wide and Cook receiving across from the wide areas.
Thanks so much, Anna, and that's great to hear from head coach Joe Johnson. It is similar to last week in the way that Dallas played. They stay compact centrally, and Spokane was able to find a lot of success out wide when they played into those wide channels. And something I think, I think, you think, Joe Johnson thinks that that can be, the success point if they can get back to doing that. This ball played in.
Well, and I also like the point of the matchup with Akage and Aguilera, because with a team that deploys those wide players as consistently as Carolina, you want to be able to punish them in that space. You want to be able to absorb that threat, but also say, hey, we're going to hit you with a threat of our own and be quick on that release. Now, it has not come off just yet for Spokane. They have not been able to connect. Now, that is that first ball press from Carolina that has been so effective. But that's an area that can be very influential for Spokane if they're able to exploit it, because now you start getting Aguilera to play on the back foot, to second guess some of those moments where she can climb and enter herself into those wide areas in the final third. So if you can get her to back off, then you start to open up some other areas as well.
Absolutely, and she's such a threat in the attack, leads the team in chances created, that if you get her to kind of step back and focus more on that defensive role, that's another target taken out that you have to look for on your defensive end. Merrick with the moves. Back post. Weinert slots it up to Jaskinek with loads of grass in front of her. Can anyone get there to help? The ball will be ushered out of bounds for a corner kick.
And that'll be a goal kick.
The climb continues for the Carolina Ascent. Be a part of the excitement as we rise to new heights in the 2025-26 season. Place your $25 deposit per seat today to lock in your favorite seats, the best pricing, exclusive perks, and cheer for the only professional women's sports team in town. Visit carolinaascent.com/season tickets for details. Together, we'll conquer the next peak.
And that ball that was just played in is a prime example of what we were just talking about, that ability to play in behind and force Carolina to be aware.
Amina Ekic needing a bit more space, moving that side back a little bit. Dished in. Missed the outstretched arm of Samantha Leshnek-Murphy. But a restart for Carolina. We have to highlight Leshnek-Murphy, 7 games, 7 starts, over 500 minutes. She stepped into that keeper role, allowed only 2 goals, 10 saves. Spent her college days at the University of North Carolina. Spokane gains control. This is Spokane's second matchup of the week. Mackenzie Weinert, big part, big puzzle piece to this offense. Was looking to get something going there for her side. Mia Corbin on the ball. Shown out of bounds by Haley Thomas, but this is their second match of the week. Went out to Lexington, picked up 3 points on the road. They're on a 6-match unbeaten streak. Hoping to continue that here tonight, but they'll need to get on the board here in the second half if they want that to continue. Hutchinson turns towards goal, rips a shot off. Hope Heisey collects.
Tremendous prep touch from Hutchinson. Tees up from distance, and I know bit of a bobble there by Hope Heisey, but keeps it tight enough and close enough that nothing of danger can come from it. That was going to be the big question, Bridget, coming into this match. The Saturday game, the midweek game.
Mackenzie Weinert, slow trickling ball towards goal.
What did Spokane have left in the tank? And being on the road, having to go from Lexington to Carolina.
Yeah, head coach Joe Johnson really emphasized that they needed sleep, they needed rest. They knew how important those pieces are in the recovery. And that was really the focus leading into this one, not necessarily getting the moments on the pitch in between those 2 matches, but getting those minutes of Z's.
And the mental reps.
Exactly.
2 teams that are familiar with each other, this being the 4th meeting overall in the season. And so really it was going to come down to kind of more of the mental reps, the review, and then just putting it all together to execute. So that rest and recovery, as you mentioned, being the utmost importance, those few days in between and the travel.
Spokane has yet to beat Carolina this season. Definitely something they're hoping to switch here this evening. But again, long way to go if they want to do that. Have to get on the board to even this matchup. Harding. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the U Super newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. That's a glimpse where normally Spokane is so on point in the build. That one-touch passing, the give and goes. They've looked so clean this spring season and doing that in the build. And you're seeing Carolina allows no time, no space. They cut off those channels, make it so challenging for opposing offenses.
You're used to seeing that quality and that sharpness from Spokane in the build.
Parker. Merrick works back to keep it in bounds. Give and go from Parker and Tricoli.
See how deep Allie Cook has dropped in to get on the ball. That's something that Carolina will welcome. Farther and deeper you have Allie Cook receiving, means the farther she is away from your goal. We've yet to see any combination of Ekich and Allie Cook come to fruition. But with that said, you really only need one of those moments to present themselves. Especially after a long week, the Saturday and then the midweek, and then continue the travel to a physical Carolina group.
Passing from Mia Corbin. Allie Hutchinson adds to Carolina's lead. Her second goal on the night.
And that's that front-footed behavior that Carolina continues to exude. They are collective in their efforts to defend and collective in their efforts to get forward and cause havoc inside opponent's 18-yard box. The build-up, quick, decisive play. Merrick with the opportunity, but Hutchinson putting herself in those areas where goals are scored, just sitting and lurking in that space, waiting for Hope Heisey to spill anything.
Mia Corbin has single-handedly broken down this back line for Spokane on numerous occasions this evening. And while she may not be finding the back of the net tonight yet, we'll preface that with yet, she has had a hand in every scoring moment for this Carolina team thus far. Her passing has been beyond impressive. That Carolina Ascent goal is presented by Food Lion. Score to give me more. Allie Hutchinson now with her fourth goal on the season.
Quite a night to have a brace. Big matchup. Two teams that are trending in such an incredible direction. Still plenty of time for Spokane to get one back. I mean, you have 20 minutes left. If you can pull one back before the or around the 80th minute, you give yourself 10+ minutes to find an equalizer, but you do have to start stacking momentum. You have to start finding some of those moments where you can break lines and be collective in those moments to go forward, as we see the foul. And Sarah Clark. This is going to be situations where Carolina is going to be in no rush to get this ball back in play. They've found their second goal. Now it's going to be about how you manage the rest of this 20 minutes. You're going to find a blend of opportunities to go forward and stretch the lead, but also be secure and close up shop defensively.
Carolina now up 2-0 as we enter the 72nd minute at American Legion Memorial Stadium. The side has now scored 15 goals in 5 matches.
I mean, just the variety in which that Carolina can hurt teams just make them such a difficult team going into the playoffs. I mean, you know how you want to prepare.
Addison Merrick on the ball once again.
But the changes that they require you to make in game just make it such a challenge and something that you want going into the playoffs. You want to be multifaceted. You want to have that diversity to your attack. I mean, you said it just a few moments ago, Mia Corbin her name's not on the score sheet, but my goodness, has she been impactful.
Let's send it down to Anna Whitty. Anna, what do you got for us?
Carolina is looking to get their 5th straight clean sheet in this match, and full credits defensive structure to their defensive opportunities in these last few games. Additionally, the depth to not just the goalkeeper, but the back line and the midfield, getting Harding and Hutchinson back and healthy.
Ball bouncing around the box. Mia Corbin nearly had a goal for herself. Jo Johnson looking to reset her midfield as Winnie Bellata, number 25 for Spokane, replaces number 24, Sophie Braun. All substitutions tonight are brought to you by Botero Carts.
Fans, we have another fresh replay brought to you by Green Brothers Juice and Smoothie Company.
Unfortunately, we were just not able to see that sustained attacking presence of Sophie Braun. Really never found any sort of rhythm or fluidity to the game or ability to get on the ball faced up in that playmaking situation.
Winnie Bellata is a player that this team absolutely rallies behind. She got her first start just a couple of weeks ago. Also started against Dallas Trinity last weekend. Amina Ekic looking for space, cut off by Studer. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit uslsuperleague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. Novant Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Carolina Ascent. With same and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org.
Fans, join us right here at American Legion Memorial Stadium on May 17th for for a huge match with playoff implications.
We've got a player down on the far side of the pitch. Ooh, I like that hat there in the front row. Carolina Ascent, I will say, I will give them their props. They've got some pretty good swag, merch. The giveaways have been on point this year.
We'll be having a base camp bash tailgate party across the street at Independence Park.
Let's bring back in our sideline reporter, Anna Whitty.
Hey, Bridget, Carolina is interrupting a lot of these opportunities for us to chit-chat here tonight. But this is this Carolina team that is looking for their 5th straight clean sheet. And not just the credit to the defensive structure of this back line, but to the depth that Coach Poole has gone out and gotten ahead of this spring season. Goalkeeper Leshnek Murphy has provided a lot of opportunities with her feet and her shot stopping tonight. Additionally, Parker, Hutchinson, and Harding, all being new additions, getting healthy in the spring, has just added to the depth of Carolina and their scoring abilities up top. Adding those players has allowed Carolina to now have only 8 goals against in the spring and in a really nice position to continue in that #1 spot.
Thanks so much, Anna, and that's a great point. Philip Poole has talked repeatedly about the depth of this squad. Like, they went out and got players that maybe on the outside, it didn't seem like they needed to go get these players. Like, they had a great squad heading into the spring as it was, but they went out, added to their depth, and you're seeing that all play out and come to fruition now as this season draws on. And these players like Riley Parker, who are now having such a big role in the offense, you may not see her on the scoring sheet, but she is such a priority and a big part of the buildup for this Carolina team. And that's just one of the players.
Yeah, and Leshnek Murphy, the best save is the save that you don't have to make. And the organization coming from her, going through the back line to the midfield and the front line, I mean, there are a lot of plays out there that don't come to fruition and don't happen because of how structured and how organized this group is, the way they communicate, the way that they fill gaps when they need to be filled, the coverage that they have for each other. It's going to be something that continues to enhance how this team plays throughout the rest of the regular season and how dangerous they can be in that playoff run.
Carolina Ascent is certainly the team to beat as it stands right now at the top of the table. 40 points.
You're going to be traveling to what you've got to imagine as a desperate Fort Lauderdale United side, and only desperate in the means of they want to attack one of these 2 top teams. They played Dallas to the 1-1 draw today, who sit in second, and now going to be hosting, if this scoreline holds, a team that continues to sit atop of the table. So they want that statement. They want that statement 3 points, and that's, you're going to get Fort Lauderdale United. You're always going to get Fort Lauderdale United's best shot, but especially at home, and a team that is extremely ambitious to make this playoff race and be one of those top 4 teams.
And we have a substitution for Carolina Ascent. Brought to you
All substitutions tonight are brought to you by Botero Carts. Catherine Gonzalez getting her first minutes as Riley Parker takes a seat on the bench. I've really liked the addition of Riley Parker to this Carolina Ascent team. We saw her start off the fall calendar with Tampa Bay. But you're seeing her now. Really, I feel like her true capabilities in build-up play up top for this Carolina Ascent team.
Yeah, it just carries all those translatable qualities from the college game to the pro game. I mean, the best attacking players in the SEC in a conference that is just loaded with attacking presence. Has those characteristics and attributes that bode extremely well for the involvement and the ability to create not only for herself, but for teammates.
You mentioned just her success in college at the University of Alabama. All-SEC first team, was the SEC Forward of the Year in 2022. Big honor, given the loads of talent that you find in the SEC. We've talked about this back line for Carolina Ascent quite a bit tonight. And Addison Merrick, who is just, I feel like I'm on a record on repeat saying just good on both sides of the ball. But, you know, Merrick said after the last game, the back line is really focused on the communication piece, listening and trusting one another. As a whole, she said, I think we've done a better job focusing on the details, and I would agree. Gonzalez finds Merrick. Gonzalez with a rocket. Initially looked like a clearance from Cummings, but rolled over that goal line. It'll be a corner kick coming for Carolina.
And something that we have not really touched on a lot in this match thus far, but that goes a little bit under the radar, even though it does expose some loud moments, is some of the playing range that Carolina has. The ability to, in a moment, spray that 40, 50-yard ball that unlocks space going forward with the quality, the texture, and the pace. We've just seen it on display.
Aguilera shoots it in. Headed by Carolina and finished by Mia Corbin. Ten goals now on the season for Mia Corbin.
And we saw her almost get on the end of the previous corner that Carolina had, and it's that consistent delivery that they have displayed throughout the evening. And we've highlighted Mia Corbin's ability to dissect opponents and play through, and that craftiness and that clever play. But she has got that grittiness as well, and just to poke that one home through the traffic. Feel like that is a goal that she's been working for throughout the evening.
That Carolina Ascent goal is presented by Food Lion. Score to give me more. Mia Corbin, now the second player in the USL Super League to get to double-digit goals on the year, following Allie Thornton, who did the same tonight. All visitor cards brought to you by Apollo Law, as a yellow card was shown to Spokane's Katie Murray. Free kick outside the box coming for Carolina.
And we've got such an exciting playoff race. Why not have a thrilling Golden Boot race as well? You get Allie Thornton with the 10th goal tonight, and then Mia Corbin with her own. Clever ball here.
Hutchinson across the face of goal. Gonzalez sends it back towards goal, but goes wide.
Well worked, who just slices this to Hope Heisey's left. For Spokane, the way this match has played out, if this scoreline holds, I know it's a tough ending to what overall has been a positive week. I mean, you pick up 6 points out of 3 matches again if this scoreline holds, which it would take an incredible comeback to get back to even a point right now, but so many positives to build off and so much season still left, and they are focused one game at a time, and there is no question that they will reset, refocus, and get back to work.
A handful of substitutions now on for Carolina Ascent. Emily Moxley and B. Hilton. Hilton picked up her first pro goal last week against Brooklyn. She said it doesn't feel real. Chances like those don't always come at the pro level. She was able to finish it. What an exciting moment for her. She's seeing some more time here this evening. Ekic finds the ball at her feet. While the score is the same, this matchup has the same feel that the game last week in Spokane had versus Dallas. 3-0 last time in favor of Spokane, but this week it was, it was more of an evenly matched battle. It felt like coming into this one, both teams just on a scoring stretch, really feeling the heat, and tonight it's just been Carolina on the front foot. That's how Spokane was last week against Dallas, another team in the top 4 spots in this playoff race. And so it just goes to show every game, every match, there's just a different feel to it, a different vibe. And this Carolina team, from the start tonight, has imposed their dominance and hasn't looked back. Free kick inside the center circle. Haley Thomas redirects towards goal. Sent forward and out by Carolina. Haley Thomas be called offside. More substitutions now. Canales, Vigiano, Ukekel. It's a tough night for this Spokane Zephyr offense. They just never found their footing. They looked so in rhythm last week versus Dallas Trinity at home, and this is a big matchup tonight. They were hoping to pick up 3 points on the road.
Not at all to use it as an excuse, because that is not what Joe Johnson and her group believe in. But we all did wonder and question how this group was going to respond after 3 games in 1 week, and 2 of those being on the road. So what were they going to have left in the tank? How big this match was, how physical Carolina is. But I think the element that they're going to want to take away from this match is some of those finer details. Yes, the scoreline is 3-0, but what are those areas, those situations that if you have to replicate this performance in the playoffs, if you get this matchup again, what do you do differently? Because you mentioned it earlier, they have not picked up 3 points against this Carolina side. If you make your way into the playoffs, you got to advance, you got to find a result.
Turn from Sarepka. A bit of a challenge to Hope Heisey, but a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time added to this second half.
4 minutes of stoppage time. Stoppage time presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Stoppage time brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina.
it's been a comprehensive performance from Philip Poole and his side. I mean, the way that they've defended, the way that they've turned those defensive situations into attacking moments, and the spacing that they're occupying. I mean, they have forced Spokane into some uncharacteristic turnovers in the build. But that is just so, speaks volumes so much to the communication, the trust, the ability to make play predictable, but also to understand that where the space is that you want to force a team. And I think that's where this team has excelled tonight, and they have not given Spokane anything in the attacking half of the field.
Spokane's 6-match unbeaten streak. Looks like it will end here at American Legion Memorial Stadium this evening. Carolina Ascent continuing their winning ways. Picking up their 5th straight clean sheet if the score holds. Fifth straight win.
Spokane have a lot of games coming up that can turn into pretty much 6-point swings. I mean, you have a matchup at home against Tampa Bay Sun, who sit above you in the standings with 36 points, so only 5 points clear of you. And then you host Lexington, who was eliminated from playoff contention today with the draw with Fort Lauderdale and Dallas. But then at Brooklyn, who is still vying for a playoff spot. And then your last game is hosting Fort Lauderdale United, who at that point in the season, it's probably gonna be still as congested
Very
as
much in the playoff picture.
Yep.
That's your final score presented by UNC Charlotte. Carolina Ascent picks up their 5th straight win, 5th straight clean sheet with a 3-0 win over Spokane Zephyr, 2 of the hottest teams in the league. And it's Carolina Ascent coming out on top. All right, Eric, save of the match presented by Train Technologies. What do you have for us tonight?
This highlights how complete of a game Carolina played, because that doesn't test the goalkeeper very much. That distance, the placement, I mean, that is about as close as Spokane got to Carolina's goal. So the way they defended and they sacrificed defensively, that work off the ball was just so crucial to their performance tonight.
The play of the match presented by Plaza Appliance Mart. No surprise here, Ellie Hutchinson's first goal of the night.
Just adds to the storyline of what makes Carolina so difficult to play against, their ability to turn you over in those higher areas and those higher spaces, but also add it to the link-up play and the decisive nature that they expose, and that left-footed finish from Hutchinson, which ends up proving to be the game winner.
Standing by with our player of the match presented by Nucor is Anna Whitty with Mia Corbin.
Mia, congratulations. Now you're tied in the Golden Boot race with 10 goals. You said that 10 goals was a personal goal for you this season. Why 10?
I don't know. know. Pulley and I kind of had a bet going in earlier on. He really wanted to challenge myself, so I think 10 was just a personal number. And honestly, I'm thankful for my teammates for putting me in the right positions, and I'm happy I'm able to put him away. But, you know, Ellie tonight, she scored 2, so honestly, team effort, you know.
Thank you, Mia. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Coach, this is a team that now has 16 goals in their last 5 matches and 5 straight clean sheets. What have you seen for this team to just continue to be so consistent on the latter half of the spring season?
Yeah, I think Mia said it. I think it's a team performance, right? You look at 16 or 17 unique goal scorers. Everyone's chipping in, and clean sheets. Goalkeepers get some credit, and centre backs do. But we know we defend well from the front. We defend well in midfield. So it's really, again, I couldn't say it better than Mia. It's really a team effort.
Goalkeepers get some credit. Lashnek Murphy, not only the shot stopping, but her ability to build with her feet tonight. What has she added to your back line to have these consistent games?
Yeah, we're really lucky in the goalkeeper department. Obviously, Megan is a phenomenal goalkeeper. We have Charlotte Birch with us too, but Sammy's very good with her feet, very calm and composed, and again, we have a great unit of goalkeepers, and tonight it was another good night for Sam.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks, Anna.
Tonight's final score, 3-0 Carolina Ascent, presented by UNC Charlotte. Just like head coach Philip Poole said, it was a team performance. Everyone was chipping in. We certainly saw that this evening. Well, we've got more coming your way. Stick with us right here. This is the USL Super League on Peacock.
Carolina Ascent Team Shop. Free shipping for a full week. So don't miss a shot at scoring a jersey, maybe scarves or more with no shipping costs. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of tonight's match. It's our 5th win in a row. Have a happy Easter, everyone.
Final score from American Legion Memorial Stadium, presented by UNC Charlotte. 3-0 Carolina Ascent defeating Spokane Zephyr. They get the season sweep of Spokane. Tonight's match highlights are presented by Nucor.
And they did it the way they've been doing it all season, working both boxes. They turned Spokane over here. 3 passes, they're in the 18-yard box. And Hutchinson, absolutely no doubt about this strike. The location, the clinical nature, and the ruthlessness that was behind it. An early 1-0 lead in the first half. They continued to do it with their pressing ability and forcing Spokane into some difficult turnovers. Never allowed them to get into rhythm or never allowed them to break with numbers. Mia Corbin was heavily involved. The ability to command so much attention. This ball slipped in to Addison Merrick, and then Hutchinson there in that dangerous space again. Just watch her climb the field, understand that this ball has the opportunity to be spilled, and that's an opportunistic attacking player right there, collecting a brace on the night. And Mia Corbin who had herself a night, and the influence was high. This gritty ability to get on the end of this ball, just following it all the way through the traffic, tucking away the third goal of the night for Carolina and putting this game out of reach.
Full-time stats presented by Nucor. When we looked at these stats at halftime, you said shots on target stood out to you. I have to imagine that stands out to you again, once again, when we look at the full-time stats.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the save of the game, and that Leshnek Murphy, I mean, we talked about it earlier through the match, is some of the best saves are the saves that you don't have to make. They did a great job of protecting their goal. You look at the shots and the shots on target for Carolina, 3 goals from the 10 shots on target, but 34 touches in the opposition box for Carolina to end the night, and only 6 for Spokane. So the work that that back line and those lines in front of the back line did tonight was a complete and comprehensive performance.
Most definitely tells the story of this match here this evening. Carolina gets the season sweep of Spokane as they pick up a big 3 points at home here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Their 5th straight win, 5th straight clean sheet. So much to look forward to with this Carolina team as we get closer and closer to playoffs. From my partner Eric Dobransky, our sideline reporter Anna Whitty, our producer Maria Ringo, I'm Bridget Howard. Thanks for joining us.